you can survive. You can procreate. If you're the village truth teller, you might get clubbed to death in the middle of the night. Truths are often, they don't want to be heard because important truths can be uncomfortable, they can be awkward, they can be exhausting.
Impolite.
Yes.
All that kind of stuff.
Challenging. They can make people defensive, even if that's not the intent. But any high-performing organization, whether it's a sports team, a business, a political organization, an activist group, I don't care what it is, any high-performing organization has to have mechanisms and a culture that supports truth-telling. One of the things you have to do is you have to talk about that. And you have to talk about the fact that it takes energy to do that. You have to talk to people. You have to remind people it's okay that it's uncomfortable. You have to literally tell people it's not what we're designed to do as humans. It's not really, it's kind of a side effect. We can do that, but it's not how we survive. We mostly survive by being social animals and being cordial and cooperative. And that's really important. And so there's science is all about truth-telling. It's actually a very formal mechanism for trying to tell the truth. And even in science, you find that it's hard to tell the truth.
What's a perfectly productive day in the life of Jeff Bezos? You're one of the most productive humans in the world.
Well, first of all, I get up in the morning and I putter. I have a coffee.
Can you define putter?
Just I slowly move around. I'm not as productive as you might think I am. Because I do believe in wandering, and I read my phone for a while. I read newspapers for a while. I chat with Lauren. I drink my first coffee. So I move pretty slowly in the first couple of hours. I get up early, just naturally, and then, I exercise most days, and most days it's not that hard for me. Some days it's really hard, and I do it anyway. I don't want to, and it's painful, and I'm like, why am I here? And I don't want to do it.
Why am I here at the gym?
Why am I here at the gym? Why don't I do something else? It's not always easy.
What's your source of motivation in those moments?
I know that I'll feel better later if I do it. And so the real source of motivation, I can tell the days when I skip it. I'm not quite as alert. I don't feel as good. And then there's harder motivations. It's longer term. You want to be healthy as you age. You want health span. You want, ideally, you want to be healthy and moving around when you're 80 years old, and so there's a lot of, but that kind of motivation is so far in the future, it can be very hard to work in the second. Yeah. So thinking about the fact I'll feel better in about 4 hours if I do it now, I'll have more energy for the rest of my day, and so on and so on.
What's your exercise routine, just to linger on that? How much you curl? What are we talking about here? That's all I do at the gym, so
my routine, on a good day, I do about half an hour of cardio, and I do about 45 minutes of weightlifting, resistance training of some kind, mostly weights. I have a trainer who, I love, who pushes me, which is really helpful. I'll be like, he'll say, Jeff, do you think can we go up on that weight a little bit? And I'll think about it, and I'll be like, no, I don't think so. And he'll look at me and say, yeah, I think you can. My day of work, reading documents, having meetings, sometimes in person, sometimes over Zoom, depends on where I am. It's all about, the technology, it's about the organization, it's about, I'm very, I have architecture and technology meetings almost every day on various subsystems inside the vehicle, inside the engines. It's super fun for me. My favorite part of it is the technology. My least favorite part of it is, building organizations and so on. That's important, but it's also my least favorite part. So, that's why they call it work. You don't always get to do what you want to do. I do little thinking retreats. So this is not the only, I can do that all day long. I'm very good at focusing. I'm very good at I don't keep to a strict schedule. Like my meetings often go longer than I plan for them to because I believe in wandering. My perfect meeting starts with a crisp document. So the document should be written with such clarity that it's like angels singing from on high. I like a crisp document and a messy meeting. And so the meeting is about like asking questions that nobody knows the answer to, and trying to like wander your way to a solution, and because and that is, when that happens just right, it makes all the other meetings worthwhile. It feels good. It has a kind of beauty to it. It has an aesthetic beauty to it, and you get real breakthroughs in meetings like that.
Human life feels tiny. Do you ponder your own mortality? Are you afraid of death?
No, I used to be afraid of death. I did. I remember as a young person being kind of like very scared of mortality, like didn't want to think about it and so on, and always had and as I've gotten older, I'm 59 now, as I've gotten older, somehow that fear has sort of gone away. I don't, I would like to stay alive for as long as possible, but I'd like to I'm really more focused on health span. I want to be healthy. I want that square wave. I want to, I want to be healthy, and then gone. I don't want the long decay. And I'm curious. I want to see how things turn out. I'd like to be here. I love my family and my close friends, and I'm curious about them, and I want to see. So I have a lot of reasons to stay around, but mortality doesn't have that effect on me that it did, maybe when I was in my 20s.